Today I'm going to try to make another funky looking dish from Fallout, but instead of our old usual American stomping grounds, we're going to travel across the Atlantic Ocean to London, England. I'm still early in my travels, but already I spot something I just have to stop and try. Let's try some Fungus Pizza. So if you're a Fallout fan, you've probably been hearing a lot of things about Fallout London, a mod that transforms Fallout 4 and sets it in post-apocalyptic London. New environments, new characters, new factions, and new storylines, all with a British twist. After watching the Fallout show, I was really craving a new single-player Fallout experience and really put me in the Fallout mood. I was kind of bummed that Fallout 5 is probably light years away, so when Fallout London came out, I knew I had to try it, and so far, it's doing a pretty good job filling that Fallout-shaped hole in my heart. Word of warning, this video has some early game spoilers for Fallout London, so if you want to dive in completely unspoiled, then maybe skip this for now and come back once you've played the first hour or so. You've been warned, so let me tell you about my trip to London. I'm still pretty early in my travels, but I'm definitely enjoying my time in London so far. Started my journey in the iconic London Underground, familiarizing myself with the system, and there are a lot of cool shops down there. Got to ride the train for the first time, and it wasn't busy at all. In fact, there was literally nobody else there. I had the whole train to myself. I did crash at the end though, which sucked, probably because there was no one driving it. But yeah, I just got out of there and walked it off. Met some new people, made some new friends, met a dog named Churchill. I mean, how British is that? I toured a dog food factory, got in a fight, made some money, and eventually I ran into some Thames folk who were all kind enough to invite me and welcome me to their cozy little underground enclave. You got everything you need here. They got vendors, they got lodging, they got healthcare, and yes, they got food, so you know I gotta try some of that out. This is Chef Lino, who runs this popular food stall here in the middle of Thames Haven Market, working day and night to feed the locals.
What can I whip up for you? Specialty shrimp pizza here if you want to try something new.
She serves English classics such as black pudding, shepherd's pie, and cherry bakewells, but her specialty is her own unique twist on pizza using glowing cave fungus that are highly abundant in the subterranean surroundings of Thames Haven. These common clusters of small green mushrooms emit a faint glow and can be eaten as a snack with a moderate level of radiation and a risk of disease, but nothing some rataways can't take care of. These little mushrooms are a popular cooking ingredient in soups, but Chef Lino prefers to use them as pizza toppings. These slices are so popular and word of mouth got so good that even folks outside of Thames Haven go crazy for them.
Hey, you're back! Did you get my pizza? Gotta be from Lino. They the bestest.
So why are people so crazy for this fungus pizza? I wanted to find out for myself, and Chef Lino has graciously let me shadow her in the kitchen and taught me her recipe. But let's face it, you're probably watching this video from the safety of your own vault, and chances are you don't have the access to the fresh Wasteland table ingredients that Chef Lino has. So I'm going to show you my own spin on this funky pizza with ingredients more readily available to you. Okay, so all good pizza starts with a dough, and this one starts with 3 3/4 cups of bread flour. And upon close inspection of the fungus pizza, you can see that the dough has a tinge of green in it. I would assume that's mold from the glowing green mushrooms and the moist environment of Thames Haven, but I'm not about to put mold on this pizza, so my specks of green will be some chopped up basil instead. Add to that a 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Mix it all together in a large bowl, and once mixed, add in 1.5 cups of cold water and a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and mix everything with your hands until all the dry components are well incorporated. Cover the bowl in plastic wrap and just let it rise at room temperature overnight for 18 to 20 hours until the dough has doubled in size. Another thing I wanted to try making overnight are these green mushrooms. At first, I was thinking of just making this with dollops of pesto, but I want to try something funkier. Let's slice up some large mushrooms and kind of julienne the stalks, and I'm gonna submerge this in green food coloring and water overnight to see if the mushrooms can absorb that nuclear green color. Hope this works. One day later, let's make the sauce. As you can see, there's no tinge of red on this pizza, only greens. So instead of a tomato-based sauce, we'll be making a pesto for even more of that green. In a food processor, toss in 3 cups of basil, a 1/4 cup of pine nuts, a 3/4 cup of grated parm, 3 garlic cloves, the juice of half a lemon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and pulse all of that together. With the motor running, trickle in a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil and mix until smooth. Before we spread out our dough, let's work on the rest of the toppings. Let's add some sweetness to this with some caramelized onions. In a cast iron pan, melt a tablespoon of butter over medium heat and toss in a sliced up onion with a pinch of salt and cook these for about 45 minutes until the onions look richly brown and wormy, which is perfect for our earthy mushroom pizza. And speaking of mushrooms, let's slice up some white mushrooms and fry those up in oil over medium heat. Cook these for about 5 minutes, then toss in 3 minced cloves of garlic. Cook for another couple of minutes, stir well, then once the mushrooms are tender and moist and most of the liquid has evaporated, remove from the heat. Let's check on our green mushrooms. Okay, it's got a pretty funky neonish green color, which is pretty cool, but I'm kind of concerned that it absorbed too much liquid, so I'm gonna lightly pan fry this to draw out and evaporate the liquid. I want to cook it so that most of that moisture leaks here on the pan and not on the pizza. Season with some salt, and after around 5 minutes, remove from the heat. Now we're going to stretch out our dough. It grew quite a bit overnight and I divided it into 2, but the dough is still quite sticky. I think it's because I over kneaded it. So I did a lot of finagling with it, adding some more flour and also adding a bit of oil and letting it rest for a few minutes. Went back and forth with that, and eventually I got it into a rollable state. It's still very soft though, so I transferred it to a pan instead of my pizza pan because my pizza pan has holes in it, and I was afraid it was too soft and it was just gonna fall through before it cooks. Guys, please, remind me never to try to make pizza dough again. On our green speckled dough, spread some of that pesto as our glowing green sauce base, add some low moisture mozzarella on top, and then our subterranean ingredients like the brown wormy caramelized onions and of course the mushrooms. Add a bit more cheese on it, then I'm popping this in the oven at 500 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes and hope for the best. Okay, this is looking pretty good. The last thing to do is to place on our glowing mushrooms, making sure to place the stalks as well. And there it is, a real-life version of the Fungus Pizza from Fallout London that I'm sure will give off a lot less rads than the one in the game. Let's try it out. Okay, first things first, the dough, not good. It has no crispiness at all. I don't know if I just didn't use the right pan or if my dough was messed up and had too much moisture, but the good news is the flavor is pretty damn good. Lots of umami flavor from the mushrooms and the loads and loads of caramelized onions. Also tastes very herby with all the basil from the pesto and the dough. Nice and cheesy as well with the mozza and the parmesan. Let's try this glowing green mushroom over here. Yeah, it's not too bad. It tastes just like mushroom. I think next time I would probably try experimenting with the flavor for this, maybe pickling it to give it a tart kick. It doesn't add much to the flavor, but it does complete the look. So yeah, it's a pretty tasty pizza except for the crust. But you know what? I heated these up during the week on a cast iron pan and it got beautifully crispy, so that fixes the crust. I don't think my version of the Fungus Pizza lives up to Chef Lino's version, but hey, at least I won't die from radiation, I think. Back to the English wasteland I go. I wonder what other funky foods await me. If you guys want to see me do more Fallout London related food, then let me know in the comments. Cheerio!